This week I just wanted to do a quick review and show you a little bit about my camera setup. So I am using a Sony a6400 and I am using a Sigma f1.4 lens. And basically what that does, it's a 30mm lens. And so what that does is it gives me that nice pleasing bokeh effect back behind me there, or bokeh, excuse me. And basically it shoots me in focus, and this camera has an amazing ability to stay focused on me even as I move around like an idiot. You know, I try to put my hand in front and it doesn't focus on my hand, it instead stays focused on my eyes. And I mean, I can just like move around and the thing stays focused on me, which is crazy. And it's one of the reasons why I chose this camera in particular for my shooting setup. And so I took a little bit of video just a minute ago, which I'm gonna put kind of overlapping on this, where I showed the bag that I picked and where I showed the camera mount that I chose and the mic that I chose. And I'm gonna talk about all that stuff kind of as an overlay here. Thanks for joining me today. This is Eric at Learn Design with Eric.
Alright, so what I'm going to do is show you the way my camera is set up. So I've got it here on a regular old tripod. I'm going to go ahead and mount my microphone, which is actually a Boya. It's a replication of the one that is made by Shure, I believe. And I mean, shoot, I'm pretty impressed with it. It's just a little shotgun mic, but it works great. And then this is one of the things that I most love about this camera is this flip-up screen. So when you flip it up like that, you can actually see it from the point of view of the person being recorded. And since more often than not, I'm doing all of my own work by myself, it gives me the ability to do that. So it comes with a lens cap, of course. And I'm going to go ahead and flip this sucker on so you can see what it looks like when it records me. And then I'll just sit down on my chair. And I apologize for the shaky camera work. I'm actually using a cell phone right now to shoot the camera since obviously it's sitting on the tripod. And I just want to show you a little bit about the way this thing is set up. So I'm not using any sort of a fancy tripod here or anything. It's just a standard camera tripod that I've had for like 25 years. One of these days I'll buy one of those nice liquid head tripods. And I wanted to also show you really briefly the teleprompter that I am using. It's a Padcaster teleprompter. And then one of the things I really like about this camera is how quick it focuses. It doesn't focus immediately unless you push the little button to focus on the area, unless it's looking at a face, in which case it focuses automatically. But when I do focus at something, like I just move in right here, I push the button on the screen and it instantly focuses in. Does a great job. It's really a beautiful camera. I don't really know that much about the camera itself. I am using a smallrig to hold the mic. The smallrig is just a little metal, it's an aluminum thing that goes onto the camera hot shoe and kind of puts it off to the side, because as the screen of course flips up, I wouldn't be able to see the screen because my big old fuzzy mic would be sitting there. And so now it sits off to the side and then it is able to shoot at where I'm sitting, and I can pick up the voice very well and at the same time be able to see myself through that flipped up lens. So that's why I'm using that. That does not transfer any power or anything like that. It literally is just a place to put that mic that's not somewhere loose or something like that. So it's not making any noise or anything. This shows you a detail of the back of the camera when the screen is flipped up. The part that actually holds that screen is all metal, and the frame on the screen is all metal. And then I've got a screen protector that I bought from Amazon that was, I don't know, like $7 or $8. That was a glass screen protector to put over that flip-up screen just so that it doesn't get scratched up. And right here you can see a shot of me holding the camera up, shooting myself from just arm's reach with the screen flipped up. So you can kind of see the focal range of the 30mm lens. If I was gonna do a lot of shooting at arm's reach or with like some sort of a personal like one of those shake-proof mounts and hold it and walk around with it, like some people do, you probably would want to consider getting the 15mm lens, just so you could get a little bit more of the background, because the 30mm is really more suitable for probably 4 or 5 feet away instead of less than 3. I don't use a cord to connect it to my computer. I could do that. It's doable, but I just find it much easier to just literally flip open the battery door, and inside there is the memory card. Just pull it out gingerly. Don't, bend it, obviously. And then I use a USB 3 little memory SD drive, and I can put the stick in there and then just put it right into my computer. And that little memory card reader was really inexpensive, like $10 or something like that. So that is how I use my device. All right, so when you put the memory card into the computer, it opens up this file right here. And if you go into DCIM, that's going to be your photography elements. So you can see some stuff here that you've probably seen before if you've seen my channel or my, of course you got cute pictures of my dog. That's Lily. Say hi, Lily. So that's the photography part, but the videos are on this private folder, which is weird, right? And then you go into M4 root, and then you go to clip, and there's your videos. So this is one of the videos I just took a second ago. I was trying to take a shot of my GVM light, so you could kind of see what I'm using for lighting for my studio there. So anyway, that is where you find your assets, in case you're wondering, because it's not immediately evident when you put the thing into the computer.
So I just wanted to summarize really quick. Obviously, I bought the camera primarily to do video recording for my channel, but my wife really wanted to get a really nice quality camera. We haven't had one probably for, at least 10 years. I think the last one we bought was, at the time, mid-tier, and 5 megapixels was about the most you could get back then. So that tells you a little bit about how long it's been since we've had a legit camera. Because, let's face it, this is a camera, and it's a really good camera for most things. And it's the camera that you have with you, right? So most of the time when we're on trips and doing things, we just use our cell phones to do most of our photography and videography. For probably the first, 10 or so of the videos on my Pebble channel, before, when I used to do the Great Pebble Adventure, almost everything I shot was on my cell phone, including the 1-hour live streams. I shot those on my cell phone using a lavalier mic and this shotgun mic. And so I just didn't need a really high-end camera at the time. Or maybe I needed one, but I didn't buy one. Let's just say that. So this is a $1,000 camera by the time it's all said and done. The camera body, which doesn't have a lens, it's just basically a handle, and it has all the electronics inside. That piece is $900, and try as I might to search all over the internet and try to find a better deal, I ended up paying $900. Nobody has it on sale. You could probably find a used one and save like $50, but what's the point? I'd rather have a brand new one in a box with everything and full warranty and all that. So the camera lens is a Sigma, and that lens was, I believe, right around $300. And I've seen it go up to $350 and down to about $280, but it kind of sits right around that $300 range. And the thing about this lens is it's just a fabulous lens for this type of purpose, but it's totally unusable for any sort of motion type work, like if you're carrying, unless you have one of those motion, dollies that stop stuff from moving. And I do not have one of those right now. So at some point, if I start walking around and doing different things where I'm moving, I'm gonna have to buy one of those, because this lens does not have any sort of motion reduction in it. The Sony lenses do, and one of my next purchase really for this camera is gonna be a wider range, like a long to short, you know, kind of like the kit lens you may have gotten if you bought the kit for this camera. And I just chose not to do that because I really didn't see myself using it anytime soon, and those lenses are not cheap. So I've also thought maybe I'll buy one of the Sigma lenses. I think there's like a 23 to 70 that would be a really nice lens. There's so many good lenses for this camera, and you know, they range from about $250, $200 up to like $2,000. I mean, you could spend a couple grand on a lens for this camera. Of course, most people that are gonna spend that kind of money are probably buying a Alpha 3, you know, which is the next tier up. So it's the kind of the semi-pro. And this camera, I believe, is kind of like at the highest end of the what I would consider prosumer level. But honestly, for me and my uses, I'm super thrilled with this camera. I just think it takes a great shot, great imagery. I've taken some beautiful photographs of my dog, and I've used it to scan documents and old photographs, and it does an amazing job of that, because obviously with my cell phone it's just only so good. And one of the things I really, really like about this lens to go with this camera is that I can run this light at a pretty low level. This light gets a little loud when I turn it up to a higher output. In fact, maybe you can hear this. Let me just do this really quick. Turn this up to, it's at 28% right now. So if I turn this up, oh, that's the temperature. That's not the right thing at all. Let's do that again. So if I turn this up to like 50%, which really is too much light, it's like blasting out my face right here. But if I turn it up to 50%, you can hear it kind of going, especially with the shotgun mic, it picks up. So I run this thing at 28, which is honestly plenty. And the nice thing is, because this lens has such a low f-stop, I mean, I could shoot in total darkness. I can like turn off all the lights in this place. Watch this. This is pretty crazy. Wrong one. I'll figure it out eventually. Take this thing all the way down to the minimum. So this is at 10%. That's as low as it gets. And at 10%, you can still see the camera focus on me, and you can still see some detail in this room, which is crazy, right? I mean, this thing is like so dim that I think if I took my cell phone out, all I'd see was pixels and nothing. Let me turn off this other light back here too. Let's turn that off too. And you can just see this thing. This is crazy. I mean, there is enough light. There's basically, I don't know what this thing at 10% is, probably like one candle burning in essence. And of course now I got these blue lights in the background, but you get the idea. I mean, the thing is capable of shooting extremely low light and just taking a really great image. And I mean, it's super flexible. So I'm really excited to shoot with this camera once I get a better lens. Outdoor shots, scenery shots, you know, things, because we're gonna, my wife and I are buying an RV, and we're gonna be taking this camera to just take some really beautiful scenery shots, wildlife shots, and that kind of thing. So anyway, thank you so much for watching today. I am Eric, and this is Learn Design with Eric.